But you said leveraging the value of the institution?
Yeah, so here's a claim. It is true that UC Davis, for example, has a ton of valuable scholarships. The challenge, however, though, is that there's nobody that's actively going out and like advertising in classes to say, hey, you should apply for this. And hey, these are the skills that you need. And oh yeah, by the way, when you fail, this is how you should think about it, right? So in other words, like it's up to the student to find that. And I recognize that paradigm, but the challenge there though is that the type of information necessary to make the decision to engage in this is not equal to the type of information provided on a day-to-day basis to the average student, right?
Yeah.
And so you'll have students like you two, for example. When I look at you two, you guys are super powerful students. But when you walk into an institution, when you walked back when, right? In your personal networks, you guys didn't have really robust sources of information necessarily as first generation students, right? Like I've heard this from you could say this much better than I did, but listening to your story, when you've told me about your story, when I've been so honored and lucky to hear about your story, your parents weren't giving you information about how to navigate the institution and what type of questions to ask. Both of you guys are hard workers and you're kind of strategic in the sense that you keep your ears open, right? But imagine how many other students are in your same position that they weren't exposed to that and thus never had the chance, right? And so when I'm saying like leverage the value of the institution, I'm not saying, this is what I mean. The student makes the school. When you, Steve, start to engage in the scholarship process, you are literally saying, hey, UC Davis, I know I can get through this without doing a single scholarship. And I know that I can get my degree without ever asking myself the question, what do I want to do with this? But I'm not going to let you take that from me. I'm going to make sure, I'm going to force you as an institution to help me find answers. And I'm going to actually go into the different spaces in the institution and search for mechanisms by which I can get paid to learn and by which I can get quote unquote credit, or I can set aside ritual time to start defining my purpose here. And that's what I mean when I say the student makes the school doesn't make the student. If I as a student engaged at UC Davis the way UC Davis would expect of me, you know what that would be? Show up to class, do my homework, go home, take the tests, finish my degree. In fact, at UC Davis, this is true, one of the professors there looked in my eyes and said, you think too much. Like, why don't you just do what I'm telling you to do? He didn't say the second one, he said the first one. The second one was the connotation, right? And I thought, while he said that, that's a very privileged thing for somebody that's sitting with tenure, owns a home in the Bay Area, and probably has 6 figures in his bank account at the end of every year, right?